In this session, we will discuss about the actions in sequencer or reporting services. So, reporting services has a feature called actions, where you can define what needs to happen when we click on an element within the report. So, for example, let us say we create two different reports, one for the aggregated report and another a detailed report. And if you want to navigate to the detailed report from an aggregated report, we use something called go to report. So, that is one of the action available within SSRS. So, go to report action enables us to jump from one report to another report. The second action available is go to bookmark. That means you can specify a bookmark within a report, and then you can jump to that particular bookmark, and it is again similar to jumping to another report. Only the difference is we are navigating or jumping to the same report, but to a different bookmark place. The third action that is available is go to the URL. Go to URL action enables us to jump to a specific web page, so which is external to the reporting services. So, we can define a link to a web page where we can jump to that specific report from a specific URL, which can be a web page or maybe some survey or any external web page from the SSRS report. So, these are the three actions available within SSRS reports. We will try to see how each one works and how to define the actions within the SSRS report. So, for this exercise, I want to take one of the reports that we already built, which is a sales by product report. So, this report gives me the sales value by product and subcategory. So, user will select a year, and when we click view report, it shows the data or the orders count, reseller order and internet order quantities by product category and product subcategory. Maybe I will just name it here product subcategory. Product category and subcategory. So, I select the year and it shows product category and subcategory. Now, let us say I want to, when user selects a specific subcategory, I want to show a detailed report at the product level. So, under that subcategory there will be a number of products. I want to show the detailed report at product level when user clicks a specific product category. So, let us say if I want to see what are the detailed orders happened at mountain bikes, I should be able to click on this and I should be able to go to a report that gives a detailed report, and that report should be filtered for mountain bikes and for the year 2011. That means, I am taking the parameter and the report value as input to another report, and I am showing a detailed report in the second report. Okay. So, when you have the detailed report like that, we can not only show these existing columns like reseller quantity and internet order quantity, we can show all other detailed reports, detailed columns as well, which are not available in this report. So, the use case is let us say executives at the top level executives. They will be interested in knowing what are the high level numbers. That means, how many orders we are getting for mountain bikes and road bikes. They don't pay attention, or they don't need to go deep into the product level and see all other attributes at the product order level. That is for the analysts. So, we can the same report can be used both by the executives and analysts. And executives by themselves, if they want to see what is the underlying detailed information under each subcategory, they can do that. They will have the ability to navigate to the detailed report. So, like that, that is the use case scenario. We provide a report for executives and we will provide the ability to navigate to the detail level instead of showing everything in one report. So, let us see how to create a detailed report and then jump from this report to the detailed report. So, for that I will create a detailed report first. I will go ahead and create a blank report. I will call this as sales by product details, or I will just say detailed. Okay, that is my empty report. So, the first thing I want to do is create a data source or set a data source for this particular report. I will say data source and I am using a shared data source. Click OK, and then next I will create a data set. So, for this report I want a detailed value. Detailed value means I want to get the product level information. So, to do that I already created a stored procedure, that is a get sales by product details, which takes calendar year and subcategory as input parameters and returns product level details, product subcategory and calendar reseller order quantity. In fact, in this query I just need product name, order quantity, reseller order quantity, and internet order. So, my detailed report is going to show only these details: English product name, which is nothing but English product name, nothing but a product name, and order quantity, internet order quantity. But this stored procedure takes two parameters, one calendar year and subcategory, and it filters the data by the input parameters. Okay. So, I will use this stored procedure as the data set for my SSRS report. So, I will say the data set name is sales by product detailed, and I will create a data set embedded in my report. I will say data source is my data source name, and I will select stored procedure because I am using the stored procedure, and my stored procedure is get sales by product details. Say refresh fields to just refresh the fields that are coming from the stored procedure, and these are my field names that are coming from the procedure, and the parameters this procedure takes are calendar year and product subcategory. Okay, click OK. Now, my next step is to pass the values to this particular report from other report. But by default, as soon as the data set saw two parameters, it actually added two parameters into my SSRS report. If we go to the preview here, I will see these two parameter values as input fields in the report, but my intention is these values should be coming from other report. I do not want a user to enter values here, this should be coming from other report. So, I will hide these two parameters. I will switch to design mode, go to the parameters, select each parameter and say hidden. So, select parameter visibility to hidden, click OK, and then again parameter properties to hidden, click OK, and now save it. Now, I do not see the parameters here, but I see an error message saying calendar year parameter is missing a value, because the parameter for the parameter itself I said the value is needed. I am not saying allow null values or anything. So, the value is saying value should be specified, that is why it was throwing that message, but we will ignore that one for now. I will go ahead and create the report body. So, for my report body I want to use a table format, a simple table format that gives a product name, reseller order quantity and internet order quantity. So, here I do not want to do any aggregations, I want to just see the plain report, no aggregations. So, that is why I just leave it as is. But in this report I want to show what are the calendar year and subcategory values coming into this report. That means, I want to show for which calendar year and product subcategory we are showing this report for. So, I want to show the details into page header, or I can just show it here itself within the body. I can just show in the top. So, I will say insert a text box. A text box will say this as calendar year, that is a string, and I want to make it as bold, and I will insert another text box to show the actual value. Right click, I will go to text box properties, not the properties, I need to go to the expression, where I need to specify the value. So, the value is coming from the parameter, I want to use the value that is coming into the parameter. So, I will click on parameters, I will say calendar year, double click on the calendar year to use that value here into the expression. So, click OK. Now, the calendar year value that is coming as a parameter to this report is being shown here. Similarly, I want to show the subcategory value, subcategory name. I will say subcategory. This also I will do bold, change the font to the bold, click OK, and now I will show the value for it, text box, and my expression for this is again the parameter. Click OK, save it. So, now I am showing the values that is being provided to this report, and then the detailed report here. So, save it. Now, my detailed report is complete. I am taking two parameters as inputs, from outside, and using those two parameters as input to this particular stored procedure and showing the resulted data set in the report. Now, I need to tie this report to the aggregated report, which is my sales by product report. So, I will go to the design here, and I need to jump to that detailed report when user clicks on subcategory. So, I want to enable the jump to report action onto the subcategory column. Okay. So, to do that, I will click on this column or the cell, say table text box properties, and if you see here, the last option you have is action. Here we see multiple options here, none is no action defined. Go to report is the action where we can jump to a specific report. Go to bookmark is the option used when we want to jump to a specific area within the report. That is useful if you have multiple sections in the report, and when a user clicks on the report, you want to go to a different bookmark like a Word document. Go to URL is to go to to jump to a specific external URL. So, for our exercise I want to do go to report, where I want to jump to a detailed report, and as soon as I selected go to report, it is asking to specify a report. So, I will click on the drop down and I will select the report, and these are the report available within this SSRS project. Okay, when you are doing go to report, we can provide the reports that are available within the SSRS project. So, that way SSRS can identify the report. But let us say if you have the report outside of this project, that means you have a report somewhere in a server, then you can use expressions to go to that particular report. And the parameters, use the parameters to run the report. I need to specify what are the parameters I want to take from this aggregated report and pass to the detailed report. I need calendar year and subcategory. So, the detailed report expects calendar year and subcategory as 2 parameters. Right. So, I will click on add and my parameter name is, as soon as I see the drop down, it is showing the parameters that were used in the detailed report. So, my first parameter is calendar year and the value I want to pass to this particular parameter is the value I am getting into this aggregated report. The parameter I am getting into the aggregated report, which is my parameters. So, this is the parameter, calendar is the parameter that is available in the aggregated report and I am passing that value to another report. Double click on that to select that particular value, click OK. Now, I have the name and value set. And next I have 2 parameters for the detailed report. The first one we already set and the second one is subcategory, product subcategory, and the value for subcategory is should come from my data set, right. My data set should give me the value for subcategory. So, I will say values. So, by default it shows all the parameters and values here, the data set columns. So, I will select it shows all the data set columns here. So, from the data set columns available, I will pick product subcategory. Now, what is happening? The product subcategory value is passed to the product subcategory parameter of detailed report. Click OK and now I am done with connecting these 2 reports. So, I will go to preview to test this report. Select 2011, view the report. Now, I see the aggregated report which gives product category and product subcategory level orders information, and I want to jump to the detailed report. Let us say I want to see the details of mountain bike. So, since we defined a jump to action, I see a hyperlink option here. I do not see that hyperlink for any other cells, even for product subcategory. I see only for product subcategory, not to product category as well. So, I want to click on mountain bikes to see the detailed information at mountain bike level. So, as soon as I clicked, it is showing the detailed report with all the product level information under mountain bikes, and I can see that the parameters I got for the detailed report are 2011 and the category is subcategory is mountain bikes. So, like this we can jump to other reports and pass the values from one report to the other report. Now, I want to do one more thing. I want to try the go to URL action. Let us say for the each product category like mountain bike, bikes and all category, I have different websites. Okay, and when user clicks on that particular category, I want to take him to a different website. So, to do that I will use go to URL action. Right click on that cell wherever we want to enable that action, go to text box properties, action, and here I will say go to URL, and this URL I want to build that actual URL name. I can specify any URL here, google.com, but instead of hard coding the values, because this category name can be a different name depending on the data. So, depending on the data I want to build the URL. So, to do that I will click on expressions, and in the expressions I will build the URL. So, I will say http www dot ampersand and ampersand dot com, and the value here I will take from the category name itself. As I was assuming, my assumption is for each product category I have a different website. So, my value here is coming from the fields. It comes from the fields, that means the data set fields, and the column I want to use is product category name. So, I double click on that to use the product category name field. Now, I am constructing a URL here using string concatenation. The ampersand is used for string concatenation in SSRS. Plus is used for numeric additions. And for the jump to URL to work, I should use HTTP : Without this, if I don't use HTTP, but if I just use www, SSRS does not recognize that particular URL as, or particular string as a URL. So, for SSRS to recognize it as a URL, I should give HTTP. Click OK. Now, I have defined an expression for go to URL action. Click OK, save it, and I will go to the preview to see its effect. Select 2011, view report. Now, I go to product, I showed this aggregated report. Now, if I hover onto product subcategory, I see hyperlink where it will take me to detailed report, but on the subcategory also I see a hyperlink now. So, now if I click it here, it should take me to a website. So, let us say I click on bikes, what happens? It should take me to a website. So, it is opening a website called bikes.com. Apparently, there is a website called bikes.com. So, it is forming the URL www.bikes.com. Similarly, clothing. If I click clothing, I am not sure if there is a website called clothing, but anyway, so that is how we can use jump to URL action, where we can jump to a specific URL that can be external or it can be internal. Here we can have another SSRS report link as well. So, it will be treated as any other external link. To jump to a specific SSRS report and pass appropriate values, we should be using jump to report action. Okay. So, like this we can jump to n number of layers. We can have multiple report layers, and we can start with aggregated report, and we can go to the detail level reports as much levels as needed. So, that is about actions within SSRS.